So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and this is a quick video in regards to the potential rematch between Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. Now, promoter Sam Jones has come out recently and done an interview with IFL TV, pretty much stating that, his fighter, Jack Catterall, is, they're looking to try and get their man out for hopefully 3 fights within this year, and they're looking to try and get him out again in October. Now, they would like, to get Jack in the ring against with for the rematch for Josh Taylor, but it all depends really on what Josh Taylor's plans are, because he's recently coming off a loss to Teofimo Lopez where he lost his titles, and so it just depends on where his head's at and what he plans to do. And if he does maybe consider this fight, it might not be at the £140. There might be some sort of catch weight, maybe at 147 for both guys, because you can see how drained Josh Taylor looked in his last fight and the fight before that against Catterall as well. And his last 2 performances, for Josh Taylor haven't been great. Most people thought that he lost the first time round against Jack Catterall, but got given the decision. They were meant to fight another two or three times, but loads of postponements for various different reasons. And then in the end, obviously Josh Taylor decided to go down the Teofimo route, which he lost his titles, and Jack Catterall, he went a different route with a slightly lesser known opponent in a Darrell Foley, which was in May, and quite a straightforward performance for Jack Catterall. Wasn't his best performance, but I felt as if it was just a good get me out, keep me active type of performance. I feel as if Jack Catterall's the type of fighter who, if he's in there with good or better opposition, he would give you a better performance, similar to how Teofimo is really. Teofimo obviously did brilliantly against obviously Lomachenko, and then obviously lost against Kambosos, and didn't really put, 2 fights after that, it wasn't really good performances for Teo, but then he turned up against Josh Taylor. So some fighters are like that. Some fighters could only get up for certain fights if they're a big name or if they're danger, and if they're looking to prove something. And this could be the case in this sense, really, for Jack Catterall. Now, in my opinion, can I see this fight potentially happening in October? I'm going to say no. And the reason being is because obviously Josh Taylor's recently coming off that loss. So I don't feel as if he'll probably try and maybe get out so soon. I think if Josh Taylor is going to get back in the ring, it'll probably be maybe late November / early December, give or take. Or he might just have some time off and maybe come back in the new year, clear his head and maybe move up weight. We don't really know. Whereas one thing we could kind of guarantee is that Jack Catterall will be out. Now, most of the bigger names in his 140-pound division are pretty much tied up at the minute. They've already got potential fights lined up, or they've got fights locked in. So therefore, in regards to a title shot, Jack Catterall isn't really going to get that anytime soon. So he may try and take on some of the maybe lesser known fighters within his weight category. And there's a few potential good fighters that he could maybe take on, but it all depends who they could kind of entice. Because if you think about it, most guys now have pretty much got fights locked in, because we're near enough at that point now in the year where people want to get things done, because they know that there's only 6 months left of the year, give or take. But there's a few decent names who he could potentially take on. Obviously, you've got Ryan Garcia, who's moved up as well. Or you've got Sandor Martin, who I think he might be having a title shot really against Progress, but nothing's been confirmed yet, that I know of. He can maybe look to try and entice Gary Russell to the UK, or maybe try and get in a British clash with O'Hara Davis, but I can't see that one happening because O'Hara Davis has got a mandatory, I think, against Rolly Romero. Romero or something like that. So yeah, it just depends really. But I'd like to see Catterall versus Josh Taylor. Hopefully this time this year, or maybe next February. But the rematch needs to kind of happen because most people thought Catterall won, but Taylor got given the decision. But I can't see Taylor wanting that because it was such a tough fight. Um, I just can't see him maybe going into that, and he probably knows that. Sometimes some certain fighters have got your number, a bit like David Hay when he fought Bellew. You know what I mean? Bellew just had his number. I think if David Hay and Tony Bellew would have fought 10 times, I'd probably say um, Bellew probably would win 7 or 8 times out of 10. You know, what I mean, some fighters just have certain people's numbers, and they just know that they could beat that person. Doesn't matter how many times they fight them. And I feel as if this is the case here. I feel as if the next time that these two fight and each other, I feel as if Jack Catterall this time will get given the decision, especially because there's going to be no belts on the line as well. So I feel as if it would probably be fair judging as well. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in regards to this potential matchup. Hopefully we see it this year or maybe early next year, but I feel as if the rematch needs to happen. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, guys. As always, bless.